Hi there, this is Teacher Monica from On English Trimming, always ready and happy to help. I'm sure that some of you will be taking international exams this day. Some of you may be taking C1 level. Congratulations, it's a great level. And some of you may feel a little nervous, maybe having some butterflies in your stomach when you think about the speaking part. It's normal. It's normal. We have all been there, but I'm sure that you're going to do great. And you will do super great if you follow these 5 tips to use adverbs as modifiers. I'm going to give you 5 examples, 5 excellent adverbs, and I'm going to show you some examples on how to use them in speaking part 2 of the speaking test. Are you ready? I can't wait. Let's go. Let's start by meeting the family. The 5 super adverbs as modifiers we'll be using today. Listen to the pronunciation. Apparently, inevitably, remarkably, supposedly, ultimately. As you can see, the last one is the only one with the stress on the first syllable. The others have it on the second. Listen again. Rewind and listen again. Important to pronounce like a dog. Number 1, apparently. Apparently is used to emphasize you're not certain something is true. You're not 100% sure. Look at the example. Apparently, he's giving up his job as a chef to go and travel around the world. Surprising. Apparently, it's true, but we don't know. Look at this example of part 2 in the speaking test for C1. Remember, here you have to choose 2 paragraphs, compare, contrast, and answer these questions. Why might the people want to be alone in these situations? How might they be feeling? After comparing and contrasting, I suggest this example. I would take the lady at the bottom. Right? And I would say something like, apparently, she needs to be alone because she needs to concentrate a lot on what she's doing in her job. Apparently, she needs to be alone for that. Okay? It's a simple example, sounds great, and you look superb. Aha! Interesting, right? Let's go to number 2. Inevitably. We use inevitably to emphasize that something cannot be avoided. It's going to happen whether we like it or not. Look at the example. Due to the health risk, the food industry will inevitably have to reduce the amount of sugar in food. Wow, it's really categoric. Inevitably will inevitably have to reduce the amount of sugar in food. In this case, I'm going to use the lady on the right, the dancer. She wants to be alone in this situation because she needs to practice to perfect her technique, and probably she's not completely alone. I'm sure her teacher or her trainer or her coach is around, but she looks happy. She looks like she's enjoying herself, but inevitably, there are hours and hours of hard work behind. If you want to be a professional dancer, inevitably, you have to work really hard for it. If you feel this video is being useful for you, subscribe, share it, and help us reach more people. We love teaching. We love helping. We've been doing it for more than 32 years, and we want to continue doing so for years and years on end. Come on, keep watching. Lots of good stuff is coming. There's a fly around. Anybody ready for number 3? Yeah, I bet you are. Now it's time for remarkably. Remarkably is used to emphasize how surprised you are by the situation. Surprised by the situation. Look at the example. Remarkably, the restaurant has closed down, has only been open for 2 weeks. How could it be? 2 weeks and closed down. Surprising. Ain't it? Now I'm going to talk about the lad in the top right corner. Remarkably, he's traveling alone, which is not a very normal thing to do when you're a young person. Who knows why? But remarkably, he's traveling on his own. Maybe he's a backpacker, or maybe he's just trying to find himself. 1, 2, 3, 4. There you go. See, once you are. It shows. Now it's time for supposedly. Supposedly is used to emphasize you don't believe something you've been told is true. For example, carrots can supposedly help you to see in the dark, but I'm not convinced they can. Honestly, me neither. I'd rather use my glasses. Using carrots sounds very impractical to me. And now I'm going to talk again about the lady at the bottom. Imagine she's manipulating dangerous substances. Supposedly, she should be wearing gloves and protection goggles. Supposedly. 4 plus 1 make 5, and this is where we are now. The last one for today. Ultimately. Ultimately is used to emphasize the most important fact in a situation. For example, ultimately, it will be the government's responsibility to tackle obesity in young children. Ultimately means that this is the most important fact in the situation, is the government who has to tackle this problem. Ultimately is the government's responsibility to tackle obesity in children. Lovely example. Let's see what to do in the exam to top it up. Thank you for listening so carefully. Ultimately is what really counts. And I'll be using the example of the dancer again. So, being a top performer is really hard work. Ultimately is all about discipline and commitment. Ultimately, the most important fact, ultimately is all about discipline and commitment. It's like preparing for an international exam. How many hours have you been working? How many hours have you been practicing? Ultimately, it's all about discipline and commitment. Oh, it's over! Can't believe it. I was having so much fun. I hope you enjoy it. Really, I'm really happy if you find it useful, and I do wish you all the best in your international exams. If you like it, subscribe, follow, share it. The more we help, the better. All the best, and see you soon. Teacher Monica, happy to help.